Alright, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to break down my trade that I took on SPY to make a 92% profit. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I like to take breakouts of strong levels. So I started off by setting my strong levels here at the pre-market high, 400.66, and then the pre-market low. Once I have my levels, I like to look for a target. So if it broke to the upside, I wanted to have my target, but I seen this level of resistance right here. See how it ran into this, and then later on it ran into this area. So I seen that as a resistance that could potentially cause a reversal if it breaks out of this pre-market high. So I wasn't interested in taking the break of this 400.66. I was more interested in taking the break of the top of this wick right here around 401.06 because it had a clear path after that. If it cleared this, it had a clear path to hit this area since this was the next level of resistance, and I would have took an entry at the break and hold above this, and this would have been my target. But as you see, it struggled in that zone right here, and from there it reversed, right? Okay, as far as the downside, I had my level here right at pre-market low, and you see here it failed to break cleanly with proper confirmation. It created wicks below that level, and then it bounced. When it does that, I readjust my line to the new wick that it formed. So I would then readjust it to this area. And then the next time it tried to break through, again, it was not a clean breakout with proper confirmation. All I did was peak below it temporarily and then bounce from there. So it never had like a strong candle close underneath that level. So there was no reason to take an entry to the downside there. So once it reversed here, and obviously earlier in the day it failed to break out here, at this point I noticed a trend line that started with pre-market. Just make this white. Okay. So you see this trend line. This is pre-market, and this is when the market opened. You see this down trend line, it hit here, it hit right here, and then it broke and found support right here. So that was 3 times that it hit that area. So I had that trend line there, and I wanted to take a break below that trend line with proper confirmation, and my target was set for around this low of day area. See that? So the plan was to take the breakout below that with proper confirmation, because if it broke cleanly, there was no more support until this low of day area, which would give you a nice setup. So now I switched to the regular candles to get an entry. Initially, you see this candle slightly closed below the trend line, but not fully closing. So I needed to see more strength, and then right after that it reversed. You see it was going back and forth around this trend line, so it was a significant area. And then eventually you had this candle close underneath, which was still not good enough. And then this one closed underneath, and then this one closed underneath. So that was 2 candles, right? Even though they're very small bodies with long wicks, you should expect a lot of back and forth, especially when the Fed is speaking. That's when price action gets pretty crazy. So this was my confirmation, and then I took an entry on the pullback around this 399.80 area, around there. And then after my entry, it did, reverse on me for a little bit. It went as high as 400.39. So it reversed a little bit on me, but after that, it completely went, had a sell off and came right back down. So it rejected the 400. It couldn't stay above that 400 area. And then eventually it just had that big sell off here, and then eventually it hit my target. So it was about a 20-minute trade in total. So the contract from when I bought it around here, just under that 400, down to about this 397 area, the contract moved a 92%. So that's pretty much what I did, was just take the breakdown of this trend line. Once I had enough confirmation, I got a pullback. I entered to get a decent entry. And then from there, just waited for it to hit the target. My stop loss on this would have been if there was a strong candle close above it. You see this candle, half of it is above the trend line and half is below. So if the next one would have had the majority of the candle close above this trend line, then that would have been enough to stop me out. So that was pretty much how I traded today. Alright, so that's the end of this video. Appreciate you for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can see more of how I trade. And I'll see you guys in the next video.